The other day, I was relaxing, playing some Minecraft, placing blocks all over the place, until I turned around and... Creeper! Aw, man. I'm done with this game, okay? Actually, I'm done with blocks altogether. No longer will I touch any block while playing my games. That's it, I'm done. And today, I'll try to beat Super Mario World that way. World 1-1 is actually pretty easy and the few blocks on the way can be avoided. To be fair, the only reason I went to this stage is to get a mushroom, as one pops out of your own body when you reach the midway point. Clearing this stage gives you access to the Yellow Switch Palace, which would add 1,000,000 blocks on the map if we actually beat it, so we do not want to do that. 1-2 was pretty easy, and I decided to try to use a shell to hit the block and get a Yoshi, but it turns out that Yoshi appears on top of a block, so I can't actually grab him. What a shame. 1-3 is going to be quite a problem though. It takes place on these mountains and will soon face you with these stretch blocks. Uh-oh, those are blocks. And as it turns out, it is mandatory to jump on them. Technically, we could avoid touching the first few blocks if we had Yoshi and we just sacrificed him, but first, we don't have Yoshi, and second, even if we skip that part, well, the second one near the end is even scarier and features even more blocks. Alright, let's just count how many blocks we need to touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ouch, that hurts. Alright, let's just keep going. Okay, those were the last blocks I'm touching today. 1-4 was easy, and since it contains water, if we need to avoid blocks, we can just swim safely. 1-Castle only has one dangerous block in the final part of the castle, but we can just jump above it and go and defeat Iggy Koopa. World 2-1 gives us access to the Feather Cape, which will definitely be quite helpful in this quest for sure. In fact, with all of the blocks on the way, we actually need to fly above the stage to get to the end of it. 2-2 is pretty easy, and 2-Haunted House was pretty simple for the first part, but then I reached this second room where we need to fly in the sky above over there to reach the door, and are those blocks? Well, you know what? They do look like blocks, but I actually did my research. Yeah, I checked out the Mario Wiki, and these are not on the list of blocks. So, there you go, I'm going to say it out loud, those things are floors, not blocks. Ha, got 'em. 2-3 was pretty easy up until this part where we need to hit enough blocks to make rail appear. Thankfully, we can just use Koopa shells to hit those blocks and move along safely. Nice. 2-4 features those enemies that throw hammers, and normally we have to defeat them by hitting the blocks underneath, but we cannot do that, can we? Let's just fly above them and we'll be good. 2-Castle wasn't too confusing, up until this part where we have to climb up the tower and... oh no, a line of blocks? Ugh. I tried bringing the spring with me and I tried to smash it against the blocks to break them without touching them, but it just doesn't do anything. The spring cannot destroy the blocks. I guess this is a dead end. Let's go back to 2-1 and fly near the end to put this key in the keyhole and reach some secret levels. 2-secret can be cleared quite easily, but if you want to reach the secret ghost house, you actually need the secret exit, so you have to put the key in the keyhole yet again, and in order to do so, well, we need to hit a block to get the key. Dang it, we just cannot catch a break, can we? Guess we're going to have to hit that one block and add it to the list of blocks we needed to hit. Ugh. 2-secret ghost house can be easily played through without touching blocks, up until you reach the ghost boss, and you actually need to throw blocks on the big ghost to defeat it. You need to touch 3 blocks to defeat it, and need to land on a block to throw the third and final one, meaning that we have to touch 4 blocks total in this stage. Disgusting. Beating the stage will lead us to Star Road 1, the most nightmarish level I've ever seen. I mean, take a look at it! Oh my gosh, look at all those blocks. We're actually meant to dig our way through with the spin jump. So yeah, we have to touch 1,000,000 more blocks. What the heck? This game sucks. You know what? Let's rewind all of the secret path and go back to that time we were in 2- Castle. We had only touched 6 blocks back then, not 1,000,000, and all we needed to do was to destroy this line of block. So I guess we'll just touch it, and then we have to touch a few more blocks to get to the top. A total of 4 in this castle, which is bad, don't get me wrong, but way better than Star Road 1. World 3-1 contains a lot of blocks, but we can use shells to make them flip and just walk through them. 3-2 will force you to hit 1 block near the beginning in order to create a vine to climb on. Thankfully, charging chucks can break the other blocks on your way. For 3-Ghost House, we'll need to get a P-switch from hitting this block there, adding another one to the list of blocks. Thankfully, 3-3 can be played without touching a single block, because there always seems to be an alternate path you can use to skip those evil blocks. 3-4 is also a total joke, but take a good look at 3-Castle. Oh my gosh, this level will make me puke. Okay dude, this path is out of the question. Let's go back in time again and go to Vanilla Dome 1 to reach the secret exit. 3-secret is pretty easy, and reaching out the secret exit will lead us to the Star Road once again, but hopefully there won't be evil blocks on the way this time. Star World 2 takes place underwater and was pretty easy to clear, as it doesn't actually contain evil blocks. Star World 3 is a weird stage taking place on blocks. Thankfully, I managed to clear it by only touching 2 using my pal Yoshi. Hey, thanks for the help, bud. Star World 4 is also easy, provided you use Yoshi to fly above all of the blocks. Beating this stage will lead us to the final Bowser Castle already. Nice. So, in all honesty, this final level is super easy and you don't actually need to touch a single block. And the same thing goes for the final fight. Well, that was fast. So, how many blocks did we hit in total? 6 in 1-3, 4 in 2-Castle, 2 in Star World 3. Bringing the total to 12 blocks. Now, before we end the video, because as you can see, it's not done yet, I think I have a way to improve this score using the Orb Glitch. I don't know if you remember this from my previous challenge video on Super Mario World, but basically, if you grab a Yoshi and a Fire Flower in 1-1 and do some weird and tricky moves, you can actually glitch the game into giving you a green orb, which then allows you to beat any stage by touching it. In order to get the Orb Glitch going, we need a Yoshi and a Fire Flower. We can get the Yoshi in 1-2, and it requires us to touch 1 block. But for the Fire Flower, we can just use a shell to get it out. So now, let's get to the end and set up the glitch. Basically, stand on this pipe, wait for the dinosaur to be about there, and then press X and A while moving right, and if everything is done correctly, Yoshi will eat the dinosaur while you're no longer on it, and it will turn into this glitch Koopa item, which doesn't look like an orb, but trust me, it is. So now that we have this, let's go back to 1-3, where we had to touch 6 blocks, and when the stage starts, let's just use the orb, and there you go, we cleared the stage without touching a single one. So now let's just go back and grab another orb yet again, and we can go to World 2-Castle, and do the glitch again, saving 4 more blocks. And while we're at it, we could technically also save 1 block from Star World 3 by using the orb yet again. We still have to touch 1 block in this stage, you know, the one we appear on, which kinda sucks, but that's it. But hear me out. Instead of using this teleporter over there, which forces us to play Star World 3 and touch a block, what if we tried to get to the next teleporter instead? Could we save this 1 block? Let's find out. Vanilla Secret 1 can be skipped with an orb to avoid having to touch some blocks. Vanilla Secret 2 is actually very easy. So is Vanilla Secret 3, which is mostly all about dolphins, not blocks. Vanilla Fortress went pretty well, allowing you to swim around the blocks. Butter Bridge 1 contains a bunch of blocks to jump on, meaning we'll have to use an orb to clear the stage. Getting the orb is as easy as it always was, but using it in this stage is actually a nightmare. Turns out that if you fall down and die during the winning cutscene, you just die, and you don't actually beat the level. so I had to play it up until the block part, and then I managed to barely use the orb before dying. This also led to my game looking like this afterwards, which is interesting to say the least. Entering Butter Bridge 2 fixes the color thingy, and the stage doesn't feature a single block on the way, so we're good. 4-Castle contains this section with the spikes coming down to crush you, and you normally have to hit the on-off block to stop it. But as you know, we can't do that, it's a block! Time for a green orb. World 5 is a pretty confusing world where there's a lot of fake exits, and basically to beat the stage you have to collect keys and put them in the keyholes, and most keys are actually located on top of blocks, preventing you from accessing the secret exit and forcing you to play the level normally. And when you actually don't use the secret exit, you'll just spin in circle on the world map and won't get to leave the forest. Sadly, this part is a huge problem for the quest, as to get to castle number 5, you need to get this key, which forces you to break blocks, and we just can't. And if you want to visit the secret fortress, well, you have to get this key, which is also located on top of blocks. But here's the thing though, if we use Yoshi, we can actually swallow the key without touching the block, and then jump onto the keyhole, and as you can see, I am not touching the block, and we have cleared the stage! Yes! The next level is full of blocks, but if you have a feather cape, you can just fly to the end of it and clear it. As for the forest fortress, well, you can either just use an orb or beat the stage normally. And there we go, we made our way to this Star Road teleporter, bringing us back to the path where we didn't have to play Star Road 3, and thus we saved the block. That is actually pretty cool. But no, it is not possible to beat Super Mario World without touching a single block. We need to hit this block at least once to get the first Yoshi to set up the Orb Glitch. But that's it, that's the only block that is required, which, in my opinion, is actually pretty good. I'm starting to like avoiding blocks. Looks like I'm gonna have to play more games that way. What do you think? Should I do that? Let me know in the comment section down below. Bye bye!